Good evening, Mr. White.
Good evening, Mr. Kerrigan, and welcome to episode 18 of the Broken Home Podcast.
Bam! Well, I got a little story for you.
I got some ears.
A little bit over a month ago, me and my daughter, she said, could we go for breakfast? Let's go for breakfast. I was like, yeah, shit, why not? Let's go downtown. So we went to Roosters to go get some brekkie.
Good spot.
We sit down. The waitress comes by and asks what we want. So I'll have a coffee, and my daughter said she'll get a juice or some shit like that. I already knew what I wanted because the place has phenomenal food. So I usually get the same thing. But she didn't know what she wanted. So I said, oh, just take your time, whatever. So I'm sitting there. My phone starts buzzing. It's a Google notification. So I just look over at it, and it says something like accused something, sentencing. Waitress comes back, we order her shit. She gets on her phone right away and starts Snapchatting or Instagramming or whatever they do. So I started looking at my phone, and I decided to click that notification, that news notification, see who's getting sentenced. I was in for a fucking surprise because I clicked it and instantly I recognized who it was. And we're in Thunder Bay, but this is a London, Ontario news story. And for some reason, I'm getting this notification. So I click it, and it's my buddy Ash. His mugshot's on there. And it was really weird because even though he's a grown man now, I'm seeing him as fucking 16, 17 years old in this picture. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just thinking of him as a little kid still. Obviously, I'm a little bit taken back by it, and I start reading the story. And
right, I guess before you even get into it, how long have you known Ash? Like, how long were you hanging out? Like, did you hang out with him for like a span of 6 years or something way back in the day before you ended up coming out here? And
longer than that, bro. Longer than that. Like, there was probably about 6, maybe 7 of us that were real close. We all lived in, we called it the complexes. They were like housing complexes. So they're either 3-story walk-up apartment buildings, like ghetto ass buildings, or they're townhomes, like fucking, like how we have in town here, Academy, just real close, shit neighborhood townhouses.
Low income.
Yeah. And that's like exactly what that is for, is low income or people that are on welfare. And there's about 5 of these housing complexes, all in close proximity to each other. And I lived in one with my mom. A couple of my other friends, they lived in the next one over, and Ash lived in one couple more up the way. You think of these areas that you got to be careful because people call them the hood. Anywhere else they would call it the hood, but we just called it the complex. But we were the ones that people would have to watch out for around there. When people say this is a bad neighborhood, we were the reason why it was a bad neighborhood most of the time. And if it wasn't us, then we were beefing with the other fucking kids that were running their complex area. We weren't in a gang, but
wow.
But
sounds
it had
like a complex war.
But it had the symptoms of a gang, but we weren't a gang. It's like just really close friends. Like, no matter what, I knew I could count on them. They could always count on me. And it happened like that many times when shit would go down, and it just went without saying.
So
So
why were you the reason, all of you guys, the reason why the neighborhood was bad? Were you like graffiti, like small, some theft shit, or just fights? Like what kind of shit were you getting into? If yeah, I don't know, statute of limitations.
well, yeah, exactly. I'm 39 years old now, so a little bit of everything, my man.
You dabbled.
So I grew up when I lived there with nothing. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my mother. My mother had the bedroom because she worked. I slept on the fucking couch in the living room because I had to go to school. My mom only worked at the Zellers. Like it's almost like the Walmart competitor back then was the Zellers. So my mom
I
worked at,
remember that place.
yeah. So my mom worked there like part-time, but most of the time like we were on welfare. And when you don't have anything and you go to school and you see people that have things, they got the cool clothes, they got the cool shoes, the fucking nice hat, the starter fucking jacket, shit like that. That was the shit that meant the most at the time, right?
Yeah.
That was like the coolest fucking shit you could have. Well, when you seen people like that, jealousy would start.
Yeah.
And then you would do things that you look back that you wouldn't ever consider doing now.
Like doing some of that tough guy shopping, just stealing a kid's shirt.
It was usually taking shoes, taking hats, or the pullover. You got that starter pullover? I want that.
They were a hot item back in the 90s.
And they would come off. Anybody listen, I'm not glorifying that whatsoever. I'm how I am now is a complete 180, compared to how I used to be. And I try to be the absolute best person I possibly can now. I have a lot of regrets. I have a lot of remorse for people, innocent fucking people that I hurt. It's a total different mind state, a total different world when you live like that, when you don't have anything and there's no hope of you having anything because mom's paycheck is only going to groceries. She can't buy you fuck all. You're going to the Goodwill to buy anything. And when you're in high school,
oof, that'll bring on ridicule.
It does, so much so, like it makes you do stupid shit. And I thank God that I never got charged for robbery or anything like that, because I would never ever even consider doing something like that now, ever. I see people on the side of the street begging for money, I'll give them a 20 just because I know how fucking hard and how difficult shit can be.
Oh yeah, puts you right back there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there was like 5 or 6 of us that would, like I said, we weren't a gang, but we would hang out together all the time. And if you're fighting one, usually it'd be one-on-one, but if you brought a buddy, everybody's jumping in. That's just the mentality back then. And I'm not trying to sound tough or nothing like that. We were fucking stupid kids. But Ash was fucking a really, really good kid. I have no idea what transpired since the 20 years that I've seen him. I don't know how he was living now. I don't know if he was being a good dude, like with a family or anything like that. I haven't been able to talk to him because he's in jail, but I have no idea. But back then, how he was fucking the most solidest dude you could ever want with you. I remember one time we were in grade 6 and we would go to the drug dealers. They were always older than us, and being typical scumbag drug dealers, they let kids fucking hang out there. So
Grade
I was like,
6?
I was like, No, actually, no, I was 12. I was 12, so I'd been like grade 7 at the time. But Ash stole a vial of oil, fucking lube, whatever they call it these days.
Yeah.
He stole it from this drug dealer. We decided to smoke some of it. I haven't smoking ever. And we smoke it and nothing happens to me. I'm sitting there like,
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say my first time I didn't feel shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we
you were
had
one
to
of those cases.
We smoked 3 joints of lube before it felt like somebody grabbed me by the face and flipped me over my fucking head and onto my back. I just felt like the whole world just boom, drop in levels. And then I see his face looking at me, red as a motherfucker, smiling, and it just kept on flickering back and forth over and over in my eyes. I freak out because I thought I was high already. I didn't know. I thought my head rush was, oh, this is it. Yeah, I'm living it, you know?
Yeah.
Ash fucking walked me all the way through the complex, through another complex, and right to my mom's fucking front door, dropped me off, and he went and caught the bus. And I remember we were at one point I had to sit down because I was tweaking right out. And he's telling me about when he was going to church, and because he's black, so he went to like a gospel church where they would sing it and they would fucking clap it. And he's singing me these, he was singing me these fucking church songs, and I'm just sitting on this park bench, fucking bamboozled. Oh man, we did some fucking crazy shit, me and him, and all of us, you know, like fuck. It actually wasn't until recently I realized I could check out my old friends. I could look these dudes up. So I found one of my other buddies. His name was Sean. He actually introduced me to Ash back in the day. Shout out to Sean Stenson. I got a hold of him, and him have been talking every once in a while now. He's doing real good. He's got a house.
Back there? Is he still back to where you grew up?
No, he's got a nice house like on the countryside. He's got kids. He's doing really well for himself. I was so happy to see that. He has a twin brother, Brad, that he's back in Detroit. I don't think he's doing too good though. From what Sean was saying, that him and his brother don't even talk no more. And you know, they got that bond. They're twins, like you and your brother. So
yeah, and we don't talk. It's the same thing.
That's true. Yeah. And I guess it's the same similar type of situation with you and your brother, with him and his brother, as it is with you and your brother, because he's doing real well for himself like you. And then I guess his brother, he got into the drugs. Like I moved his brother up here a while, like I think when we were 18 or 19, and he ended up having to move back down because he robbed a drug dealer up here. So he had to leave town. So when Sean told me that him and his bro don't talk no more because of shit like that, I figured, oh fuck, he hasn't grown up. So whatever. But yeah, so we all used to kick it together, and Sean was a wild motherfucker too. I'll tell a story about him some other time. But actually, I got so many of me and him. But about Ash, though, man, I read the article, and I still couldn't fully understand it. Almost 4 years to the day when I was reading that article was when he turned himself in for this murder. So what I was able to piece together, I found some security footage online of it, but he was driving down one of the busy streets downtown in London, like after the bar closed. And I guess somebody walks out in front of his car. So he slams the brakes and fucking starts beaking at dude, telling him, stay the fuck off the road, whatever. And I guess the dude that he was yelling at, he was with 2 girls, and he was loaded. Come to find out, it was actually his birthday. He was out having his birthday party celebration. He was just doing what he do. Well, Ash pulls over his vehicle because I guess the guy yelled back at him. He pulls over his car, parks it. He gets out and he goes and stands in front of a storefront. And I don't know if he, because you can't, there's no audio on it, but I don't know if he like called him over saying, yo, come on, let's do this or what. But all of a sudden, dude starts walking over with his arm around one girl. And then he just bolts. He just charges after Ash. And you see them both hit the glass of the storefront. There's a brief struggle. A vehicle comes by and it like sort of blocks it all out. And then you see dude, this Derek guy that ended up getting killed. You see him walking away again, like shit's sweet, no big deal, I guess. But it turns out Ash stabbed him 5 times in that fucking small period, like that matter of seconds. He got stabbed up 5 times. Dude ended up dying on the fucking side of the street. Ash, I guess when he got hit by the dude, they broke the front glass of the storefront, and he somehow sliced his arm up real good, so bad that he had to get surgery, but he wasn't going to go get the surgery done in London. He drove to the next town over to their emergency room, and he got his surgery did. And then I'm guessing he must have known that he hit this guy 5 times. The guy must be fucked up for him to have the presence of mind to not want to go to the hospital in town. So he bounces out of town and leaves to go get it done in the next town over. 4 days after that, I guess there was a manhunt or something going on for him. The police were looking for him. He turns himself in, and then he spent 4 years doing dead time waiting for the sentencing. And then that's when I found the story, was the day of his sentencing, I guess. And they tried to originally charge him with murder 1, but I guess it didn't stick, and they resulted to murder 2, and they gave him 10 years. So he's already served 4. He's got 6 more to do.
Maybe possibility for like an earlier release, or does that even happen in cases like that?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I spoke with his sister, and his sister's saying that there was evidence that was put in that was not admissible in the court. So they used something in front of the jury or some shit that was not supposed to be brought into effect. So from what she said was that they're going to try to do an appeal, and I guess maybe a retrial or something. I'm not 100% sure on the details. I gave her my phone number to give to her brother to call me collect, because I haven't seen him in so long. I just want to talk to him and see what's up, what happened, and get his side of the story. When it comes down to it, no matter what, he still pulled a knife. He still stabbed a guy 5 times. He still murdered a man on his birthday.
Why didn't he just keep driving? Like
ego,
get
man.
out. Yeah.
Ego. People have that
guy
moment.
With 2 chicks around, each arm, and
yeah. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of letting my fucking ego make my mind do stupid shit,
but even when you're alone,
make it dictate what I'm about to do. I used to let it get to me like that. No more, no fucking more. I will never let my emotions.
when you're with the people that are, that you do get into trouble with, right? Like say if you're by
peer pressure style.
Yeah. But I mean, like then you're protecting your ego because like your peers are
in front of everybody,
you, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like if you're by yourself, like really, like do you think your ego would be like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna get out and just destroy his day in front of his family or his two broads or whatever?
And that's when it comes down to, how are you living? If you're
Mm,
living, if you are in a gang and living this shit, respect is the number one, no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter from who.
yeah.
And people, they take shit so fucking personally. Like, I found out that Ash spent time in jail before this. He went down to Missouri. He caught a drug charge, and he had to spend some time in jail down there as well.
Was this for
So
like something harder than weed? People
I
they
don't
got
know.
thrown in jail for weed back in the day. It was.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mm,
But when you go to jail as well, you develop a whole different kind of mind state.
mhm.
Somebody says something wrong with you fucking, you got to defend your honor, or else you're going to look like the punk. So sometimes people, they get out of prison and they carry that mind state around with them. It's like being institutionalized in that type of context. But this is just speculation. I have no fucking idea how he was living. Like I
Well, I
said,
would
I don't
think
know.
if you were living in prison a certain way, and if you had to go hard to show that you're not a bitch or whatever, and if you're doing that for X amount of years, it's habit. It's just I would assume
Yeah,
that it's like muscle memory. As soon as you're on the outside at a bar, someone says something, and you just jump into that.
yeah,
You're back into like, okay, fuck you.
yeah. And he wasn't alone. He had his girl in the car with him.
Oh, there was
Yeah,
some. Okay, all
yeah. He had
right.
his girl, and in fact, his girl was so fucking down. She took the clothes that he had that was covered in blood, went to a burn pit, abandoned the car, and fucking burned the clothes for him too.
Holy shit, that's a good girl.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it.
I know, right? I'm just saying, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, thanks, babe. That was
Yeah,
awesome what you did for me there.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
In fact, his mom even almost got charged for harboring a criminal or
I can see
something
that.
along those lines. Yeah, but he turned himself in, and that probably would have been the most terrifying thing in his entire life, knowing that you hurt somebody and knowing you got to go face the consequences, and you go to that front door on your own. That's fucking ballsy, man. Like,
Yeah.
when you don't make them come looking for you, you go see them motherfuckers. That's fucking ballsy.
Yeah.
So he's got that too. That looks good on the judge's part, I imagine, because from what else I was reading was the jury deliberated for 3.5 hours on it. I guess the Crown was looking at 17 years on him,
Wow.
but because of the circumstances, the judge went with what his lawyer was asking for, the minimum of 10. So they gave him that minimum. And when this might sound so fucking stupid, or I don't even fucking care. I don't care. I'm just going to say it. When I was looking at his picture, sitting in that restaurant, when I was reading what happened, in my mind, I said to myself, if I would have reached out to him 5 years ago, this wouldn't have happened.
You don't know that.
I know I don't know that. And I know it's probably just my ego saying that, thinking that I could put somebody on the right path or something. But
Man, it could have went the other way where he comes out here and something bad happens to him out here. You're going to take the blame on that one too. So it's, you never know.
you know what? That's the second murder now that I've told myself, if I was there, it wouldn't happen. When my, at the time, best friend got murdered, I told myself, if I was there, this wouldn't have happened, because it wouldn't. It wouldn't have happened. But we'll get into that story a different time. But when I was sitting there, I felt fucking guilty. I felt like I could have prevented Ash doing this. And like I said, I think
Totally
about
normal.
it now. Yeah. And I think about it now, and, I have no idea the type of man he is these days.
Mm.
But I just know that he would, back then, he would have been down to fucking come stay up here or whatever, and he would get his life together. I could have put him on a fucking better path if he wasn't living on a good path already.
Yeah.
And he quite possibly could be. And this could be just one of those one-off fucking circumstances that you have that moment and you just let your pride and your ego take over, and the fucking ultimate consequence takes place.
And that his story could very easily have been yours. And like, I've seen you throw hands, and when, you know, when you're defending someone's honor, you know, I mean, punches, they can do damage, where I've seen people lose their life in a street fight, and
Yeah.
and then you're on hook going to jail and shit, you know. So,
And that's what fucking terrifies me now. Like, I don't even know how I'd react to somebody lipping off to me. I know right now I could tell myself, oh, I would just walk away. I'd be the bigger man. But if somebody tried to do something to my daughter and I was there, or something like that, I don't know how I'd react. I know I would end up in trouble.
You'd react the same way you react when your laptop doesn't work, or your your Xbox controller. You destroy. you just fucking destroy whatever it is that's the problem. So,
and I've worked on that a lot, actually.
Yeah, well, you can work on it as much as you want, but when it comes to, like, you know, protecting your daughter and shit, that's a different level. I mean, I don't have a kid. I can't relate to that, but I mean, I can imagine it's amplified a lot.
Yeah, that's for damn fucking sure. So it's I just really hope that I hear from him soon.
Yeah.
Because for one, I want to talk to my buddy. You know, I just want to talk to my boy. I haven't talked to him for so long. There's so much to catch up on outside of what's happening, but I also want to find out if he is going to appeal it, because he's 39 right now. So he'll be almost a 50-year-old man. Oh no, just 6 years. Never mind.
Yeah.
Because you already spent 4 in. So yeah.
45 years old, man.
45 years old. You could still have a fucking life. And it's probably very painful for the mother of that other guy, knowing that.
Yeah, he was 27, right? 27 year old. Shit.
No, birthday. Yeah, the guy that got murdered, it was his 27th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kid's mother is probably thinking, you know, 6 years ain't enough. Like, it's going to be 10 total, but 6 years ain't enough.
No, not from her perspective, that's for sure.
No, because that's for keeps, no matter what. No matter
what. From what I read, he was very well liked, popular trainer at the gym and shit.
Yeah. He was a fitness trainer. That's Derek Slavarsky, his name was. Yeah. So my buddy, if anybody wants to take a look at it, was Robert Williams, but we never called him Robert. Robert was his government name. We called him by his middle name was Ashley, but we called him Ash. And if anybody wants to take a look at the case, it's Robert Williams and Derek Slavarsky in London, Ontario. And maybe we'll put the fucking video. Let's put the video on this.
Yeah, add it for sure.
We'll put the security footage down.
Yeah.
And because in the security footage, you see Derek, and I'm not making no excuses for anybody, but you see Derek charge at him, come at him, put him into that fucking window. And then, but it's such a grainy fucking footage, you can't really make out anything, you know? So it's totally up to the viewer's depiction of what's taken place. But
yeah, we don't know what words were being said, unfortunately.
No,
I mean, I know that he didn't get out of the car, go stand in front of the storefront and just, you know, do nothing. He said something, but although, you know, regardless of what he said, if you're being charged, man, but the knife, he had the knife, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
Like it
Why
was
did he have
almost
to
like he
fucking
had the
pull a
knife.
knife?
Yeah, something's gonna go wrong. I'm gonna have this knife ready. But I mean, if he would have just fucking kept driving.
Yeah. I would never fucking use a razor on someone just for that reason. Like, especially not now. I'm a fucking grown man, you
Yeah,
know, but
it's a phobia of
back
mine.
then, yeah. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like I don't know if I told you this. I
The
have like
fucking ninja, baby. That
uh
fucking ninja.
I have this thing about getting like a throat slit. When I was traveling by bus, I'd have to travel 10 hours and I could never fall asleep on the bus. I could never put my head back and expose my neck on the bus. Yeah. So I would put my head on the side of the window and I would try and sleep. And then this one night, I guess I finally fell asleep for a split second. And then my head just shot right down the side of the window and hit this lever to eject the window in case of an emergency. It's like this big metal panel that you
Yeah.
lift and pop it out. And so my face smacked that and nose just started bleeding
Oh,
and it was
fuck.
just it was not a good bus ride. But yeah, it was and a buddy of mine who knew that I had a problem with shit like that. I fell asleep on the couch. He came home. He was my roommate at the time, and I wake up to cold steel on my throat. It was a butter knife, but when you're first waking up, like I almost punched him in the face until I realized what the fuck was going on. But yeah,
Yep.
it's like a huge thing for me. I don't know why.
I had a knife held to my throat, and I even got a scar on my fucking neck from it because
Jeez.
I wouldn't give up my bicycle. My buddy
Had to been a
Sean,
hell of a bike.
it was my fucking wheels, baby. That's all I had.
BMX. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a BMX. It was just like a
No.
mountain bike. But when you got fuck all, that mountain bike represented fucking my fucking way out. You
Yeah.
know, that was my freedom back then. Me, Sean, and Brad, we were going by the train tracks under this bridge, and we were in this outside this other complex. Three dudes said we're up top. They started throwing rocks down at us. They said, "Hey, yo, wait there." So we waited there, and then four other dudes come off to the side in front of us on this bike path, and then those three come down from up top, and they circled us. Fucking dude hit me in the head with a rock. This kid, probably up to my chest, held the fucking knife up to my neck for my fucking bicycle.
Holy
And
shit,
then
man.
and then Sean, or it might have been his brother Brad, started fighting with one of the kids, and I was able to get my bike away from these motherfuckers, and we bounced out of there. We went back to Sean's mother's house, and we all grabbed knives. And I thank fuck those kids weren't there because we were so fucking stupid that we would have done something fucking even stupider.
Yeah. And the first stupid move was you waited there. Like,
Yeah.
hey, wait there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should
Yeah.
wait.
After these fucks were throwing stones at us,
hey,
too.
wait there.
You know?
We thinking he was going to come down with an apology. And hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm sorry.
I don't know what I was
back
thinking,
there.
baby.
We just thought, why not?
Yeah. It was a totally different world living in these areas, man. Like a totally different world. I remember even if you said something to somebody, it's like, and I'm not trying to make it sound like tough guy talk or something like that, but you got to pretty much be ready to die for what you're about to say to someone. Like, you got to be able to put that on everything what you're saying. And if you're talking shit about somebody behind someone's back, that's an automatic beating, or that guy automatically is going to come to fucking hit you. There's going to be a fight no matter what. And when I moved up here, that was like the first thing I noticed was bitches yakking. Bitches always talking behind each other's back, you know, and nobody doing nothing about it. And it took some realization, like it is a different world where I'm living now compared to where it was then. And to get out of that mind state, that ego mind state that I was talking about earlier, letting your ego. And when you were a kid, you let that ego fucking run you. You're like a fucking, you're just a hard on cock constantly waiting for something to fuck. And you got to get out of that mind state, man, or you're going to get yourself fucking hurt.
Jesus, I'm glad I didn't grow up in the complex. I grew up in a small town that nowadays it's like it's the Ozarks. It's like murders and people
Yeah.
missing and like what the fuck is going on out there?
Well, check this, man. The next complex over, this kid Thomas that we used to hang out with, him and his twin brother. We always knew that Thomas or that it was either Thomas or Jonas because they were brothers. And I can't remember which one was who because it was so fucking long ago. But the one that we knew something was wrong with, like he wasn't fucking right in the head, he would always do weird shit. Like he wasn't allowed to babysit anymore because he got in trouble for doing something with this kid. Well, I'm 19 years old and I'm sitting at my mom's house and I hear on the fucking news about Buddy's brother. And this is the most fucking horrible shit in my life I ever heard, but I guess he broke into someone's house right across from him, snuck into the daughter's room, a little girl, kidnapped her, and I'm not going to get into details, but the body was found in a duffel bag in his closet.
Oh God.
Like the kid was just fucking, there was something always fucking wrong with this kid, man. That's the type of son of a bitch that should rot in jail for the rest of his fucking life. I don't even care that he was only 19 when he did this shit.
Yeah.
Shit like that, people like that, there's no fucking repairing those type of people, and they're not fucking worth repairing.
Duffel bag in the closet. 19 years old. So then what? Fuck, I'm assuming his parents probably found out and sold him out.
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, it's rotting fucking corpse in a closet. That's
well, it became a big. It immediately went to like Amber Alert because it's a missing child for like 2 days or something. And homie was seen in the area. It's just fucking sick, fucking twisted.
Yeah, man. And yeah, so now that you got a smartphone, I guess you're getting Amber Alerts and all that. Like
I've been woken up more than a few times.
I've never gotten it in the daytime. It's always been in the fucking wee hours of the morning. I get a message that someone like across the province is, whatever, but it's always 3, 4, I never get one at a good 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, a convenient Amber Alert,
right?
Not these fucking dudes up to no good shit hours. You know someone's up to no good if they're out fucking around at that time.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to make light of it. I'm just putting a little bit of laugh into the deal.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, so with Ash, man, I'm wishing him all the best. I don't know the story. I plan on bringing it. I'll bring it out as soon as I figure out what the fuck happened and I could shed more light on it. Hopefully I could talk to him soon and hear it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak, to see what the fuck really happened. Because sister said that there's enough to go on an appeal for. So
yeah.
And whatever that means.
You only get so many appeals, right? Isn't there only like?
I don't even know. I imagine because there's probably dudes in there that would just abuse it. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't like this, so I'll just appeal this motherfucker.
Yeah, I think there's
over
and
over
a limit to how many times you can appeal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Before we get into anything else, really, I think we
man,
had a good episode here. I got some shit off my chest.
It's a good place to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll put up those videos for the listeners so they could see and tell us what you think, man. Let us know. And if you guys got a story, we want to hear it. We've been fucking asking for your fucking stories. Don't make me fucking ask anymore. Yeah, please.
Or else that
please.
Ego will take over.
But no, for real, if you got stories, we want to hear them. We want to listen to them. We want to put them up. We'll have you on, or you could just submit them to us. We'll read them out, whatever. We want to hear your stories, Yeah. And we got social media. got a Twitter, we got an Instagram, that shit.
We're on YouTube,
And the
Spotify.
YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube. Fucking leave us a comment. Leave us a thumbs up. Fucking give us a 5-star on Spotify if we deserve it, you know?
If we
Whatever.
deserve it.
We need to get this engagement up because I want more people to be tuning in, because the more people that tune in, the more stories we'll get, the more people that we can bring to you guys. And you never know whose fucking story is going to be the one that inspires somebody, you know? Inspires a kid to fucking, maybe to not to join a gang, maybe to put down a gun, inspires somebody to fucking, to open up and get off some generational trauma that they had on their chest. Anything, you know, there's just, you never know whose story is going to do what for someone. And we want to be that place that people can come share them.
Absolutely. Well said. We'll end on that. And thank you very much for joining us on episode 18 of the Broken Home Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one.